and scores with a backhand. Stick handle, stopped for a moment, went to the backhand and scored on the penalty shot.
Time to head out to the arena. Here's tonight's pregame report.
Well, for the first time in the postseason, the Fargo Force find themselves down in a playoff series after a home loss here at Shields Arena last night as the Youngstown Phantoms came in after a very impressive series win as they took care of the Chicago Steel, the high-scoring Chicago Steel in the Eastern Conference Final. They did it with solid defense and goaltending and opportunistic play. Took advantage of a power play as they ended up with a 5-on-3 early in the third period. Didn't score on the 5-on-3, but scored on the 5-on-4 and then got one right after that. Timing of that goal proved out to be just huge as they got 2 goals in the span of less than a minute and a half. Took a 2-0 lead. Got an empty netter late, a 4-1 victory as the Phantoms. 4 has been their top number in the postseason. They've gotten to 4 goals 3 different times in the playoffs, including last night. And with an outstanding goaltender like Jacob Fowler in net, that goals against average in the playoffs went down to now 1.61 as he held Fargo nearly to a shutout. They got one with just under a minute to play. Anthony Mangini got his first goal of the postseason, and Fargo avoided the shutout, but they fall for the 4th straight time in the Clark Cup final at home. Youngstown beat them in overtime, Game 2 in 2018. The Chicago Steel beat them both games here at Shields Arena to win the Clark Cup championship 2 years ago, and now the Phantoms come in with a road win. Well, last week in Chicago, they got a split, went back home, finished off the series, and they know they'll be no worse than a split when they head back to Ohio for Game 3, potentially Game 4 next weekend. Good evening from Shields Arena. Crowd filing in. I don't know if we'll see. I'll see a few more filing in. We had a little over 4,100 here last night. 4,119 was the announced crowd here at Shields Arena, and I think we'll be maybe a little bit under that, but we'll see. Kind of a rainy day, and we'll see if the locals come out and see if the Force can rebound after that loss last night. Pat Blunden, my broadcast colleague, when I'm not here, he's here calling Force Hockey at Shields Arena, joins me tonight. First of all, we haven't worked together in a long time, my friend. This is nice.
Yeah, it is kind of nice to get back together again. Thanks for letting me tag along tonight. And you talked about Youngstown last night, played a really good game, and Fargo got by Lincoln in the last round in the conference the conference finals. I think when Fargo played Lincoln was the hottest team in the USHL at the time. They had been on a nice little run. I think Youngstown is in a very, very similar spot. They made their way into the number 2 spot in the East. They got that first round bye, and they have been a very tough out so far this season. Of course, goaltender Jacob Fowler, all-world USHL goaltender of the year. Fargo has everything they want right now in this series.
And I think we've seen so much of the Western Conference. We saw a lot of Lincoln and Waterloo and in Tri-City and
Sioux Falls and Sioux Falls and Sioux Falls and Sioux Falls.
And so, I mean, it's. I think there's a bit, I think, for the fan base, and I think even for us, too, there's such an unfamiliarity. We've seen Youngstown, and, and this is a franchise that failed to make the playoffs the last couple of years. And we just weren't sure what we were getting. But I think maybe some eyes open. Granted, Celebrini didn't play much in that series for Chicago, but I think some eyes were open when they beat Chicago. And I don't want to say beat them with relative ease, but to beat them in 4 and to shut them down like they did. And they thought, hey, this is we may not know a whole lot about this bunch, but this is a legit squad. And they showed last night.
Well, as you know, at this time of the year, you get a hot goaltender and anything can happen. And you got a goaltender with a sub-2 goals against average like Jacob Fowler does. You're going to be in every single night. And he's done exactly what they wanted from him, and they've been really good. They don't score a lot either. They don't put a lot of pucks on the net a lot either. But they're getting just enough, and as we saw last night, they can explode in a period. It was 0-0 after 2. They explode. They went 4-1 last night. Kind of a shocker to me, really. It's not very often that the Cole Knubles and the Brett Links of the world get held off the score sheet, but they were last night. So I'm very curious to see how they respond tonight. Nick Oliver, you and I talked to him before the game. He feels really good about their response level tonight. but it'll be very interesting to see. Fargo has been really good this year when they've gotten on the board first, almost unbeatable when they get the first goal of the game. It's going to be really important for them to get on the board first.
I really got the feeling last night, especially when they got that first goal, but really after they got that second goal and so quick that 2-0 felt like 4 or 5-0 the way things were going last night.
Yeah, and that's playoff hockey, right? I mean, these are the best two teams in the USHL, and there's momentum. Momentum is a huge deal, especially this time of year. And you're riding good. They've been playing well at home all season long. You give up one, then you give up a quick one right after that, and it's like deflating. It's like, okay, now what do we do? And then it's too late at that point, possibly. And they found that out last night. So,
yep,
short memory.
Yep,
turn it around, get out here. Marinoff gets the nod tonight, which is a little bit of an interesting thing. He's struggled a bit of late. But he's also a gamer, and so we'll see what the Fargo netminder has tonight.
Yep. Now Marinoff's last appearance came in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals Monday in Lincoln. Was pulled after giving up 4 goals in a wild first period. It was 4-3 in favor of Lincoln after one. Anton Castro shut out the Stars the rest of the way, and the Force came away with a 5-goal third period outburst en route to an 8-4 victory. We'll take a timeout. Got a chance to visit with the head coach of the Fargo Force, Nick Oliver. That's coming up in our pregame report. Face-off set for 6:10. Starting lines and much more coming up, including some keys to the game as well with Youngstown and the Force. Game 2 of the Clark Cup final with Youngstown, a 4-1 win last night. They've gotten to 4 goals 4 different times, 2 in that Chicago series in games 1 and 3, and 4 was enough, more than enough last night in the win over the Force. We'll visit with Nick Oliver next. That comes up in 2 minutes.
Psst, let me let you in on a little secret. Mom doesn't want a card for Mother's Day. Cook her a home-cooked meal with a little help from Barnesville Grocery. Chicken drums and thighs, $1.49 a pound. Fresh strawberries, $1.99. And from Nancy's Deli, homemade Italian pasta, $5.49 a pound. Don't forget to stock up for the fishing opener. Grab some brats, pop, and chips before you head out. There for you on your way home or to the lake. The locally owned Barnesville Grocery, where good taste is always in season.
Here is this week's Employment Connection, brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. Call now at 701-297-8800 or stop in their office for your interview. Call 701-297-8800. Job seekers, call Express Employment Professionals now at 701-297-8800 or stop by their office. They have immediate openings for high-paying and awesome jobs. Call 701-297-8800. Camp Grassick is hiring camp counselors, recreation staff, craft instructors, and a lifeguard. Starting salary is $4,300 plus room and board. Applicants should be 16 or older. This is a great experience for people going into education, nursing, and therapies. This summer camp serves people of all ages and abilities. Applicants can apply online at elkscampgrassick.com. Rick Electric, voted best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley in 2022, is hiring journeyman electricians, apprentices, and service tech electricians for existing projects in the FM area. Go to rickelectric.com or info@rickelectric.com. Midland Garage Door is looking for motivated shipping associates and production associates, starting at $22 to $25 per hour. Various shifts are available. Apply today at midlandgaragedoor.com/careers. And there's your Employment Connection, brought to you by Express Employment Professionals.
Game 2, Clark Cup final tonight. Youngstown gets some goals late after a scoreless first 2 periods of 4-1 win over the Fargo Force with head coach Nick Oliver. And first period, it kind of felt like first period teams haven't met. You didn't want guys maybe not wanting to make a mistake, kind of feeling each other out. And that second period, it wasn't a lot of sustained pressure, but he had moments you were able to get some pressure on Fowler, but he was pretty solid. But a couple of penalties late. But I guess overall, if you're looking at it, going through the tape, your assessment of last night?
Yeah, I think you're spot on with how the game started. I think both teams neither team really got to their game early. I thought they got to their game sooner than we did. I felt like we were chasing it a little bit in the first, and I thought they had the better of the play, and then I thought we settled down a little bit more in the second. And obviously they get the power play goal to start the third and build some momentum off of that. So ultimately for us, I think it's about getting to our game sooner tonight and trying to establish how we need to play.
Is their style of game, is I want to say a slower pace, but it's not going to be really up and down the ice. Did you feel that they kind of established that right away?
No, you know what? I actually thought in the first period they transitioned quite well. I think their top 6 forwards are pretty fast, pretty skilled, and they can hurt you with some of the sticks they have up front. And you know what? They do a good job defending in transition as well, and there isn't a lot of ice off the rush. And I think where we need to do a better job tonight is putting pucks more intelligently, into their zone where we can establish a forecheck and ultimately some more sustained zone time.
Yeah, Anton last night I thought made a couple of really nice saves in the first period. As you mentioned, they kind of got to their game early, and he did make a couple of nice stops in net. Did you feel like the guys in front of him, set him up well enough, or he wasn't hung out to dry too much?
Yeah, you know what? I think he held us in there early when we were trying to find our game. Made some big saves. I thought. It was a game when we defended better 5-on-5. I think obviously the power play goal got them going. And then, any goal you give up, I think the timing of those goals hurt us a little bit. Obviously, they get the second one pretty soon after their power play goal, and then they extend the lead to 3. And I think anytime you give up a goal, it's a collection of things, right? It's the 5 guys in front of our goalie needing to do a better job, and ultimately, our goalie's the last line of defense, and needs to battle in there to get some saves.
We've seen this team when there's been some, after a loss, they've been able to respond pretty quickly. They did so in Lincoln. Did you kind of get the attitude that they just kind of shook this off and it's on to the next one tonight?
Yeah, that's our thought and that's our hope, right? This time of year in these series, you can't dwell whether you win or you lose, right? And that was our message to the guys today, right? The last 2 series, we've been fortunate to get game 1, and our message for game 2 has been, hey, we need to park that and flush that and learn from it and move on. And it's no different after a loss, right? You have to take some things out of it for sure to learn from and areas to get better, and then the game resets and they throw 20 minutes back on the clock and the puck drops and you get to go out and do it again. So that's the nice part for us.
All right, looking for a rebound tonight. Good luck. Thanks.
Thanks, Brett.
We'll be right back.
It's a miracle.
Each January, the community donates to Sanford Children's Hospital during the Cares for Kids Radiothon. Now you can support the kids all year long with Miracle Mondays, presented by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry.
Every Monday.
Each Monday, you can help by supporting participating sponsors who dedicate a portion of their sales to help save lives of children in our community.
Thank you so much.
Find out where at jackfmfargo.com or text KIDS to 35270. Sponsored by
Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry.
Traditional tobacco is sacred to American Indians, but cigarettes, chew, and vapes are not. They're addictive and poisonous, destroying our people with disease and cancer, bringing death and heartbreak to our families and our culture. But you can quit, and ND Quits can help. Protect our families, protect our culture.
Call 1-800-QUIT now or go to hhs.nd.gov/ndquits. Sponsored by North Dakota Health and Human Services.
Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry would like to thank all moms this Mother's Day for their unconditional love, selfless acts of kindness, strength, and fortitude. To the world, you are a mother, but to your family, you are the world. From all of us at Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry, happy Mother's Day. 3241 42nd Street South, Fargo. Online at schmidtsjewelry.com.
Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
here at Shields Arena. Crowd filling in on this kind of a soggy Saturday in the Red River Valley. Game 2 of the Clark Cup Final with the Youngstown Phantoms and the Fargo Force. Youngstown, their second appearance in the Clark Cup Final since they entered the league. 2009-2010, not long after the Fargo Force entered the United States Hockey League. And Fargo, their sixth appearance in 15 years. And Brad Schlossman of the Grand Forks Herald. I guess I thought about it, but I didn't think about it, Pat. 6 different times in the final, 6 different coaches got him there.
Well, they've almost had a different coach every single season that they've been in existence. I mean, Kerry Eads has been around for a long time, general manager right now, but they have had coaches come in, go out. Dean Blaze, of course, the inaugural season. Doesn't matter who's behind the bench; they just continue to win. And it's really a testament to this organization to be in the Clark Cup Final for the 6th time already in their relatively short existence, and an opportunity here against Youngstown to get their second one, who they won the first one against.
Yeah, and you think about that too. In that time, in 15 years, Fargo has made it 6 times to the final. The next closest team has been there 3 times. So I think it just shows, even though maybe the names and faces change a little bit, just the way they go about doing their business, where they find their talent, the right talent to mix, it says a lot.
It really does. And this league is all about turnover, right? I mean, every year, half of your roster or better is turning over because it's a developmental league.
Yep.
Everybody on this ice tonight, except for maybe a couple, have already committed to a Division I college hockey program. So you're always going to have new faces. The fact that you can do what the Force have done in their 15 years, like you said, by getting to this point in the season, now 6 times in 15 years, is a testament to what this organization has done. And it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I really think that the Force are gonna rebound after a tough one last night. They're sitting around their goaltender at the net right now, and they're getting ready to put this thing on the ice.
There was one comment I think that Nick Oliver made was in the pregame was that they talked about was basically, there was one comment on the pregame, Pat, that I thought he made and really made a good comment on was, Youngstown got to their game first before we did last night. I thought that's a very telling comment.
It was a very telling comment. And we talked about earlier here in the pregame, too. Fargo needs to get out of the gates fast, and especially on home ice. Hopefully there's 4,000-plus people here tonight to get behind them. Fargo's been really good this season when they've scored first, but they got to get on the board first. The longer that Youngstown keeps them off the board, that plays into Youngstown's game on the road in the playoffs. They want to keep Fargo off the board as long as they can.
Fargo will start with Werner Miettinen. He will center Owen Mellenbacher and Gert Silkholms. Mellenbacher 4 points in the playoffs. Miettinen has 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists. Both those goals power play goals. Rest of the lines for Fargo. Cole Knuble will center Max Swanson and Brett Link. J.P. Turner centering Anthony Mangini and Boris Skalos. Jake Fisher, his first appearance of the postseason, he'll center Zam Plant and Charlie Russell. And Moorhead's Harper Bentz is the extra forward. Jacob Stender and Jacob Napier, the Jacobs on defense will start. Joe Palatichuk, Leo Gruba, Brazen Bozer, Kevin Scott, and Cam Chasby. And Matej Marinov gets a nice hand as he has announced as the starting goaltender tonight for the Fargo Force. For Youngstown, they'll start with their top line. Martin Miziak, along with William Whitelaw and Shane LaChance. Whitelaw, a pair of goals last night. Brandon Swoboda will center Matthew Perkins and Grant Young. Tyler Catalano will center Miles Gunty. Got his first postseason goal last night, along with Hunter Bischoff. And on Sorbonne will center Kenta Isagai and Jake Rossi. Andrew Strothman, the UND commit on defense, with Chase Patilla. Jacob Fowler in net. 6-1, 94.5% save percentage, 1.61 goals against average. The rest of the defensive pairings for Youngstown, Jack Wilson and Tomas Machu, Nick Williams and Andrew Centrella, and Pavel Funtek and Torrey Pittner. Starting as a scratch tonight was Justin Varner, who started on that second line. He is out due to injury. We'll come back with the opening face-off with the Force and the Phantoms here in Game 2 of the Clark Cup Final in 1 minute.
Patio season is almost here. Enjoy those nice days on the Knickerbocker Liquor Locker deck. Relish in daily happy hour from 4 to 7 and then stay for dinner. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker has tasty food specials most nights of the week, including Friday when you can enjoy prime rib or walleye dinner with all the sides. A delicious way to end the week. Check out their Facebook page for tonight's special, which are available for dine-in or carry-out. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker in Hickson, North Dakota.
As summer arrives, the human emerges from his long winter nap.
and the first thing he stumbles upon is his absolutely filthy car. This turns the human upset until he realizes he can download the Tommy Express Car Wash app. Download the Tommy's Express Car Wash app and sign up for your first free month of unlimited washing. Experience the Tommy Advantage today at the locally owned Tommy's Express Car Wash with 4 FM locations. Limited to new members and the first vehicle when signing up for reoccurring subscription.
When it comes to a diamond, we let you choose. Hi, I'm Aaron at Wimmer's Diamonds. From natural to lab-grown diamonds, we carry all the options our industry has to offer. Our team of experts is here to help you pick the perfect shape, size, color, and cut of diamond, along with the perfect ring mounting for your engagement or anniversary. We also offer the area's largest selection of finished jewelry. When you're ready to give the gift of sparkle, stop by and see us at Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Crowd is filled in nicely here at Shields Arena, and I normally don't do this too often, but since you're here, Pat, I'm going to do that. As far as a pick to click tonight, there's a guy that he's had some good scoring opportunities, but he has yet to bury one here in the postseason. Brett Link, I think it might be his night tonight. We'll see if that's the case.
Well, his line mate Cole Knuble has been the leader on the ice in the playoffs, and I think it's just Brett's turn. And I don't have any disagreement with that whatsoever. He's played over 100 games in a forced sweater. He and Cole Knuble have chased each other for 2 years on the score sheet. I think it's his night as well. I'm not going to bark at that at all.
On the Youngstown side, it'd be interesting to see. I thought the line of Serbone, Izagai, and Jake Rossi, although they did not get a goal last night, I thought they really did some nice things. Serbone, formerly of Omaha, and Jake Rossi had a couple of good scoring chances. Castro denied him on one of the first period. I think that's a line that you can't ignore on that Youngstown side. You look at LaChance and Mijiak and Whitelaw, but I thought that line, even though it didn't show a lot of the scoring on the score sheet, I thought performed well. Dumped in by Youngstown, and we are underway as the Force in the white sweaters with the logo in black and white. And Youngstown, the gray and black sweaters.
Those are so sharp. I love Youngstown sweaters.
So face-off will come to the Fargo offensive zone. They'll be in the attacking zone off to our right.
And as a guy sitting right underneath the rafters in the building, it's easy for you to be able to pick out the numbers.
Nice,
too,
bright, yes, nice, sharp, white nameplates and numbers. And as high as we are, that is greatly appreciated. It will be Miettinen on the draw. Face-offs were close to even last night. That is a stat that they've put on the board here a little bit more over the postseason. I think it's just so key, especially in trying to sustain offensive ice time and trying, as Nick Oliver said, to get to your game first. Battle for it over in the corner, Silkons. Silkons is tied up, trying to send it back down the wall. He gets tied up. Now joining in Mellenbacher for Napier. Napier, a shot clean look, glove save by goaltender Jacob Fowler.
Well, and you talked about it. Face-off, such an important thing. And you get an offensive zone face-off like the Force had right there after the icing call. They win the face-off. They control the play in the offensive zone. Not a great scoring opportunity, but at least putting some pucks on Fowler and making him feel the biscuit a little bit early on. Good opportunity there for the Force, and winning faceoffs is key, and they got a good one there.
Fargo only had 3 shots on goal in that first period last night, and usually is the case in the second night of a weekend series like this. You maybe see things kind of open up a little bit more, and especially after you've had a night of maybe trying to seek out tendencies and such, so you kind of maybe have a little more familiarity.
I would love to see a track meet tonight.
Well, Youngstown would not like to see that, I think. LaChance comes across the line, dropping it off left circle. Strothman, and boy, Strothman logged a lot of minutes last night. Future UND Fighting Hawk in front, and puck flipped across the crease and wide as the pass did not connect with Knuble. Strothman plays it and backpedals to his blue line, finding his D partner in Patilla. Back for Strothman at center, and he will send it in. Hopped over the stick of Max Swanson as Youngstown will start up on a change, at least a partial change over the corner. Gruba roll the body around there with Mijiak. Now the forward over the corner, and Fargo with Swanson pass knocked free, and Whitelaw intercepted and sends it back to his defenseman with Williams and Centrella.
Nice play by Swanson there. You know, as a younger player, a rookie in this league, Swanson sometimes is bodied out of the play. He made a nice body play there to get that puck up and out the zone.
Link sends it back to center as Youngstown will control once again. Izagai. Now they'll find Williams. Nick Williams will play collegiately at Michigan Tech. Twin Cities product out of Edina. Puck comes through center, controlled again by Youngstown. 90 seconds in and scoreless in game 2. Pass as Serbone gets tipped over by Kevin Scott, and that'll lead to an offside call there.
Just a little bit ahead of the play at the blue line there for Youngstown. And that's good for Fargo because they would have been a 2-on-1 coming into the zone. So Fargo got a little bit lucky right there with that young man leaning into the zone before the puck got there.
One thing I thought Youngstown did last night, too, Paz, I thought really they handled the neutral zone maybe a little bit better than Fargo did. It seemed like Fargo had a tough time, and I think Nick Oliver touched on this a little bit, just setting things up in the offensive zone. Kind of just what they did from blue line to blue line, I thought made enough of a difference last night. Scalos dumps it in as the Phantoms trying to ring it around to the near side. Cut off by Turner. It comes to Kevin Scott. Back down the wall for Turner. We'll ring it around over to the far corner. Anthony Mangini got his first postseason goal late last night. Scalos had a nice series against Lincoln's. Had a nice, really, postseason with a couple of goals. Taken away by Youngstown. They'll send it in. It comes rolling out, and it's batted aside with the goalie stick by Marinoff. Bouncing shot did not get back to Marinoff from Youngstown. Lead feed, trying to get that feed. Mangini just hopped and just beyond his stick and poked away by Fowler.
Great job by Mangini seeing that they were going to have an opportunity there. He jetted out of the zone immediately. They just couldn't connect on that pass, or Mangini would have been in all alone.
Tried that lead feed just out of his reach. Grant Young got it into the zone. Youngstown, it comes back out. Here's a shot from Funtek. Stick side. Pavel Funtek, who was a scratch last night. Marinoff the save. One shot on goal for each team here early. 17:22 to go in the first. It's fired back in by the Phantoms. Marinoff will play it. Now for Napier. Napier along for Zam Plant. Plant stick handles off the skate of Napier. And back to Youngstown, taken there by Pavel Funtek. 17:08 to go in the first. Dumped in, and that should be an icing. Icing waved off, taken back by Fisher. Fisher's first appearance of the postseason for the Fargo Force. Denver University product out of Woodbury, Minnesota. Back to neutral ice. Russell in. Finally carried in by Jake Fisher. Puts the brakes on the left wing. Sends it back behind the net where it's played there by Funtek. Puck over the corner. Handled back by Fargo. It's Russell. Russell trying to set it back for Plant. Loose over far side. Getting tied up is Fisher. Over the corner with it. Charlie Russell to play it. Far side Russell. Trying to get it back for Palatachuk. He's tied up. Controlled by the Phantoms. And sent out for Tyler Catalano. He gets tied up with Palatachuk near the red line. Right near the penalty box area. A little over 3.5 minutes in. And no score here in Game 2 of the Clark Cup final here at Shields Arena. So far, a quiet crowd. And handed out is Fargo will change up. Top line of Knubel and Link. First one's out there. Loose at neutral ice. Link trying to reach for it. Comes through center. Strothman controls. Back pedals for Youngstown. Finds Patilla. Chase Patilla and Miziak. Miziak gains the line. As it knocked free. Loose into the slot. And flipped out by Leo Gruba. They bottled things up in the slot that time. Puck sent the length of the ice. Out come Bozer and Scott on defense. Pass intended for Miziak, intercepted by Knubel. Knubel through center, had it poke checked away. There's LaChance coming across the line. Whitelaw in on Bozer as there's going to be a penalty coming. The puck went in the back of the net, but there's going to be a penalty coming. And it might be a penalty. I think it's going to be a penalty shot here for Youngstown.
Yep, referee is calling for a penalty shot right away, and that puck did go into the net, but he immediately waved it off as it went on the stick side of Marinoff, but the Force are going to get whistled for a penalty here and a penalty shot coming for the visitors.
So we've got a penalty shot coming here for Youngstown.
But they have the visitor side penalty box door open. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, so Whitelaw's going
to the penalty
in.
Box. This is curious.
This is interesting. So Whitelaw is in. We'll see on that. Well, there should be a penalty shot coming.
There's a visitation going on right outside that half circle in front of the penalty box. Shane LaChance, the captain for Youngstown, looking for an explanation. Brett Link over there too. And with Youngstown having a guy sitting down, Link is just looking for an explanation. He's not arguing it.
So it's going to be a penalty on Whitelaw. I thought
no penalty shot.
Yeah, no penalty shot. We thought there was, but the way they signaled, I kind of thought the same thing that you did, Pat.
Well,
There's going to be a penalty
pointed
shot.
at center ice. The referee pointed at center ice, but he didn't do the hands like you would normally do for a penalty shot.
We
jumped the gun a little bit.
Charging is the call on Whitelaw at 4:17.
Well, let's see. You know, special teams are super important, and Fargo's power play all season long has struggled. They've awakened from their slumber here in the playoffs.
0 for 2 on the man advantage last night. Youngstown did get a power play goal. Their first goal was with the man advantage. It was a 5-on-3, and they scored when it turned to 5-on-4 as Palatachuk for Knubel. Knuble back for Palatichuk at the point. Throws it on net. Fowler the save. Left the rebound log on the table. As Swanson and Miettinen playing catch. Now back to Max Swanson, top of the left circle. Stick handle shot down low. Try to backhand it. Try to jab at it. Mellenbacher kicked aside by Fowler. Well, they want to face off, and they've established things in the offensive zone of the man advantage. Back behind the net, Mellenbacher. Now Palatichuk, one-timer. Knuble a drive, and Fowler the save. Not sure if he saw it, but he sure felt it. Cleared but not out. Kept in. Swanson sends it cross ice, playing it off the boards. Palatichuk behind the net for Mellenbacher. Drops it back out. On the left circle, Swanson tried to center for Knuble and just missed. Went through the crease and wide. Held in, Palatichuk to the corner, near side Knuble, back behind the net. Mellenbacher, top of the left circle, working his way in. Swanson down low. That's Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher tried to center for Miettinen and couldn't connect, and the puck goes back to neutral ice. 52 seconds to go on the Whitelaw penalty. Early power play for Fargo. Shot from Swanson, blocked by the Phantoms, and Youngstown clears it out. And all the way down. Doing the honors that time, Hunter Bischoff. Back behind the cage comes Gruba. Grubas, they'll reset. And Fargo will change up the specialty teams unit. Charlie Russell, Brett Link, Sam Plant. Kurt Silkol's out there. Batted away by Youngstown. They'll send it all the way down again. Bischoff trying to run a little interference in front of Marinov. 24 seconds to go on the Fargo power play. 14:05 to go in the first and no score. Fargo got a couple of shots on goal on the goaltender Fowler. Pass behind Silkons. Russell right circle to drive and right into the chest of Fowler, and he'll hang on. 12 seconds to go in the man advantage and still scoreless.
Good power play for Fargo. They moved the puck around really well, other than the last 20 or 30 seconds where they were hemmed in their own zone with a good forecheck by Bischoff shorthanded. Force have gotten some shots, but everything's been from the perimeter, and Fowler's been able to see everything from all day away. So you got to get bodies in front of the net. You got to knock some bodies around. It's just too easy for Fowler right now here early in the earlier going.
Sam Plant will take the draw for Fargo, and they will try it again. It looks like it'll be Plant and Andon Serbone will take the draw. Be to the left of Fowler. Fargo shots on goal now 5-1 on Youngstown, so 5 shots, already 2 more than they had the entire first period. They win the draw. One-timer, Gruba, another shot. That one top of the left circle. Kicked aside again. He's leaving some rebounds out there, which he did not do much last night in game number 1. Plant.
They're hitting him in the pillows.
One-timer. No, they try to go tic-tac-toe for Plant. Intercepted, and the penalty has expired. As Whitelaw tried to backhand it, tried to center. And the pass and the puck knocked away. Back to Strothman at neutral ice. Patillo back for Strothman. Skalos comes off the bench for Fargo as the pass deflected off a skate, comes on goal, and it's kicked aside by Matej Marinov. Now Gruba backhands it. Now Plant tied up. Plant over the corner. Now Gruba. The official had to skip rope to get out of the way of that puck coming his direction. Skalos will send it all the way down, and we'll see. No, icing is waved off, so Strothman will play it to the corner. Up and back, D-to-D pass slowly gets to Patilla. Back to neutral ice it goes as they'll drop it back to neutral ice. Cam Shasby was a scratch last night. Out in defense for Fargo. Turner, as Mangini tried to turn and head down the ice. Shasby gets tipped over. Puck comes free, and here comes Mangini after that loose puck. He comes across the line, puts the brakes on at the half wall. And we'll send it back behind the net. Reaching for it as the puck over to the corner. Turner, and now Jacob Stender over there for the Force. 12:35 to go in the opening period. No score. Fargo coming out a little bit crisper than last night. 6-1 edge in shots on goal. Comes a chance for Andrew Centrella. Centrella over to the corner. Cut off by Cam Shasby. Puck comes free. Rozzi tied up. Over there with J.P. Turner and the Force come back out. As it will be at center coming in. Nice move by Stender. Stender works his way to the left circle. Fan on a shot attempt. Either a shot or a pass. He fanned on either and taken back by the Phantoms. Hunter Bischoff at center. He comes across the line. Bischoff to the far corner with it. Sharp angle shot. Marinov the save. Prevents a rebound. Now Bentz gets tied up. Over with Miles Gunty as we will have a media timeout. So we'll take a break with a media timeout with 12 minutes to go here in the opening period. Shots on goal 6-2 in favor of Fargo. No score with Youngstown to the Force here in game number 2 of the USHL Clark Cup final from Shields Arena. We're back in 60 seconds.
Give yourself a little little more elbow room with a yard, maybe a fence, and options of 2 and 3 stall garages. Rent a house in the Metro from Meridian Property Management with multiple options to pick from. Meridian is ready to help you find that great place to get you more space. All homes are smoke-free, pet-friendly, and in great neighborhoods. You better find yourself a new welcome doormat because you're going to like what you find. Check out your next home online at mpmfm.com.
Where are you bouncing to?
You haven't heard? The spring menu is out at O'Kelly's Bar and Grill.
Can I join you?
Of course. Just try to keep up. O'Kelly's spring menu has arrived. Try their made-from-scratch Ned Burger, the Medora, or sweet and French onion burger. Plus, prime rib and kid meals are back. O'Kelly's on Main, just off Interstate 29 and less than 3 miles from downtown Fargo. We're almost there.
Save me a seat. I'll catch up in a bit.
12 minutes remaining here in the opening period. No score with Youngstown and Fargo. This is game 2 of the USHL Clark Cup final. Well, first thoughts here in the opening 8 minutes.
It's been entertaining. You know, Fargo's had a couple of opportunities. They had the power play early. They're throwing some pucks at Jacob Fowler, which they need to do. They need to pepper him with pucks as much as they can. They haven't had any issues in their own end. They've kept the puck on Youngstown's side of the ice almost the entire first period.
Fargo sends it all the way down. Now Youngstown to play it. Jack Wilson, as they go cross ice, is trying to grab it. Is Mijak. Mijak full head of steam down the left wing boards. Out of the corner, chased by Napier. To the far corner he goes. Off a skate. LaChance will play it to the corner. As that top line out there for Youngstown. Fargo. Pass goes behind Silkholms. And chasing it down to neutral ice is Jack Wilson.
Miziak's been a nice find for Youngstown. Came in halfway through the season, and he's already worked his way onto the top line. He's a very big, important part of their offense.
10 points in the postseason in 7 games. Turnover here. Here's a chance for Wilson. Left circle to drive. Traffic as the shot went up and over the glass and into the netting. There was traffic in front with Marinoff as well, as we will hold things with 11:10 to go in the opening period as they 3 chances and kind of been quality over quantity here early on, and a good look for Wilson as there was traffic in front as Whitelaw sent Stender right into goaltender Marinoff. Maybe looking for a screen or some traffic. They tried to go upstairs and missed the net.
That might have glanced off the crossbar too as it got over the top of Marinoff.
So 11:10 to go here in the opening period as no score with Fargo and Youngstown.
Does it smell like something's on fire to you?
Yes, there's something. I don't know if it's what it is. It smells like burnt pizza or something. I'm not quite sure. Pass for Knuble. Knuble right circle to drive and miss the net. Back over the corner as we will have a whistle and a penalty coming as guys will have to be separated over in that corner. Link along with Torrey Pittner will have to be separated, but that long pass, stretch pass connecting with Cole Knuble, and Knuble clean look from the right circle as we'll have a penalty coming here. And we'll see who was, at least I thought there was a penalty, but maybe not.
No, he had his arm in the air. We're 0 for 2 now on trying to figure out what the referee's up to so far tonight.
You get everything separated. Now there will be no penalty. So 11:01 to go in the opening period. Shots on goal 7-3 in favor of Fargo and no score as off the faceoff. Controlled by Youngstown. Try to clear it. Kept in by the Force. Puck tipped away in the slot. Russell throwing the body around. The Youngstown skater comes back up the wall and back out to neutral ice. Leo Gruba forced to fire it back in. Fargo will have to clear the zone. Patilla will chase after it. Patilla pass up ice for Grant Young. Young will play at Harvard. Is making his first appearance of the postseason. Fargo skater getting hauled down as the puck loose in the corner and controlled there by Grant Young. And the scratch tonight was Justin Varner. He was on that line with Swoboda and Perkins and hurt last night and not in the lineup. And 20 to go in the opening period. Back to the near corner. It's actually behind the net comes Fisher. Now for Gruba. Gruba plays it high off the glass. Bouncing and Strothman back to play it. Strothman harassed by Russell. They try to get the forecheck set up this Fargo. Pass near side back to neutral ice and sent along by the Phantoms. Jake Rossi trying to get there. He gets tied up. It's loose back behind the cage. Rossi out of the corner. Comes back out of the point. Pass for Williams. Gets it from Centrella. Tries to throw it on net. To the goaltender's right. Missed the net. All kinds of traffic in front, controlled by Youngstown. They'll stick handle, shot. Easy guy shot, kicked aside by Marinoff. Third save for Matej, the fourth save for Marinoff here early on. Centering feed didn't connect. Back for Centrella. Centrella, top of the right circle. Shot. Never got to Marinoff. Gets pinballed around, and Fargo clears it out. Centrella, go ahead.
Youngstown gets them a little hemmed into their own zone a little bit. A couple of scoring opportunities, and Fargo's finally able to get it out of their own zone. But Youngstown with some sustained pressure there.
Behind the cage comes Swanson. Now back over to the corner with 9:16 to go in the opening period. No score. Game 2 of the Clark Cup final. Pass did not connect. And it will be icing the call, trying to connect with D-man Nick Williams. Puck goes all the way down with 9:09 to go in the opening period. Fargo will get an offensive zone face-off in. We remain scoreless. But as you mentioned earlier, Pat, when they kind of get in that offensive zone, they do a good job of, they did last night too, kind of winning puck battles in corner and just kind of taking some angles and some things away from Fargo.
They're very strong on the puck in the offensive zone, and that was really their first opportunity so far in the first period of sustained offensive zone pressure, and they gave themselves a couple of good opportunities to score.
Napier in the corner, trying to work his way in on Fowler. Shot kicked aside, puck loose. Mangini fanned on his attempt in the right circle.
Puck was rolling on him, and it rolled right over the top of the blade of his stick as he was coming in.
Yes.
Good move by Napier to come out, though. Goaltender had no idea that Napier was going to try and make a move to the net. He created a scoring opportunity by coming out of the corner the way he did.
Scalo dumped it in, forcing goaltender Fowler to make a play on it. Back to neutral ice, pass to center, and it is gathered in. As working his way in is Scott, or make it Miles Gunty. Check that. Second, Gunty with the second goal last night for Youngstown, trying to get around Palatichuk as they battle for the puck. Centering, and it comes back out to Wilson. Wilson shot off a body, off of Bishop. Never got to goaltender Matej Marinoff. 8:20 to go here in the opening period. Shots on goal 7-4 in favor of Fargo, and no score. Pass batted down with a stick by Catalano at neutral ice. Back into the Youngstown offensive zone. Taken away. Nice job. Poke check by Brazen Bozer for Fargo. Pass connects for Turner. Turner at center. JP comes across the line. It's 1-on-4 as Fargo looking to start up in a line change, and finally Turner will just dump it back in. They'll finish up with the line change. Silkons, Mellenbacher, and Mietnin out there for Fargo.
Did you see that? Did you hear that little woo from the crowd when Turner made that move at his own blue line?
Yes. Sharp angle shot save made there by Marinoff is getting to the puck first. We're going to see who that was. It was William Whitelaw. Sharp angle shot, goal line extended, and the save made by Marinoff. Time out of the ice, 7:44 to go in the opening period. No score with Fargo and Youngstown. Game 2 of the USHL Clark Cup final. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Head into your next painting project full of confidence with a little help from Fargo Glass and Paint. Conveniently located in the shops at Osgood at 4323 45th Street South. Stop by and ask their experts about Benjamin Moore's Scuff X interior paint. Scuff X provides an effortless painting experience with durable and flawless results. See for yourself in the hallways and locker rooms of the Shields Arena. No task too big when you work with the professionals at Fargo Glass and Paint, your local paint experts.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
Shots on goal 7-5 in favor of Fargo. Brad Pratt with you, game 2 and Clark Cup final here at Shields Arena. Crowd maybe a little less than last night, but I think we've got a pretty good house here. I'm thinking we're north of 3,000, probably in the 35, 37 range maybe.
Not bad for an early May Saturday night when, the playoffs are always hard. The schedule is very short-lived and you don't have a chance to plan for it. Season ticket holders, they know when they're going to have games. A week ago, we didn't know if we were going to have hockey tonight.
That's a very good point. So you have a quick time to try and get the word out, get people to come out. I think the Force have done a good job with that. They've made ticket prices very reasonable.
Oh, heck yeah. $10 a head?
Yeah, and kids under 12 getting in free. Can't beat that. I'm kind of wondering, and I see they're filling up a little bit of the crease area in the Fargo goaltending area where Matej Marinoff is at. And I kind of wonder that, too. We saw this. There was a spot they had to fill last night, kind of up towards just kind of beyond the high slot on that end of the ice. And with spring finally arriving here in warmer temperatures, you wonder how much that affects the ice here at the arena.
And a concert in here. Foreigner was in here just a few nights ago as well. And so I'm sure the building got warmed up. And it definitely has an impact. And the guys that take care of the ice, the guys and the girls that take care of the ice here, they've got a big job at this time of year because when the building gets warm, that's a bad thing for the ice.
Sharp angle shot. Save me. Actually went just wide. Fargo looking to relieve some pressure here. Stenders, the puck back behind the net, comes out for Silcons. Backhanded out to neutral ice. It's played by Patilla. Patilla came out high and fired back in for the Phantoms. Fargo looks to break out with it. They've had a hard time doing so at times here in the first period. 7:22 and counting and no scores. Napier comes across the line, drops it off for Miettinen. Miettinen kicked aside. Shot got through. Kicked aside by Fowler. That's Mellenbacher. Puck rings around here to the near side. It will come back to the point. Kept in. Shoveled in by Miettinen. Fargo keeping the offensive zone, but Justin for an instant. Pass intercepted. Knubel got a stick on it. And Strothman sends it in. Has a chance out there. So is Whitelaw. Fargo comes back with Knubel trying to get around Strothman. He's at center. Comes across the line. Veering left. Gets it back. He gets tied up. Tied up over there with Miziak. Now Palatachuk. Pass Swanson. One-timer and a save by Fowler. Dandy of a scoring chance, and Jacob Fowler comes up huge once again.
That got people out of their chairs. Half of the building got to their feet. They thought Swanson was going to bury that one. A great opportunity there created by Knubel, who went down to his knees, somehow still found a way to maintain control of the puck, and they moved it around, and Swanson found himself all alone in the slot.
Youngstown looks to break out with it as at neutral ice. Pass did not connect. Now battled around. Delayed offside called. Youngstown clears the zone. Fargo maintains puck possession with Fowler. Now Link. Cross ice. They come across the line. Bozer for Swanson. Swanson takes a hit. Finds Fisher at center just off the bench. Fisher high slotted drive. Stick handling. And Jacob Fowler the save, and he'll hang on.
He's only had a couple of shifts, and I know he was a scratch last night, but Fisher is noticeable so far tonight. He's got a little bit of extra jump. 6'2", 185 pounds. Hasn't seen a lot of ice time, but when he's been on the ice tonight, he's been a guy that you notice when he's on the ice.
6:01 to go. Is I think that chance that Fowler denied on Swanson, that might have been the best one of the night for Fargo.
For sure. Yeah, it was a great scoring opportunity.
Maybe the best of the
Swanson.
weekend, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah, he was all by himself in between the hash marks, and Fowler came out and squared him up, and Swanson had a great opportunity, but Fowler was up to the task.
Fisher will take the draw. It'll be to the left of goaltender Jacob Fowler. 6:01 to go in the opening period. Shots on goal 9-5 in favor of Fargo. Still scoreless. But not for a lack of trying for the Force. Cleared. It'll not go all the way down. Will come to a stop right in front of Marinoff. Stender retreats back behind the cage. Youngstown sets up 3. Forward check is errant pass. Trying to force a turnover there. Is Swoboda over there? Is Swoboda, Perkins, Grant Young. That line out there for the Phantoms. At center, Fisher comes across the line. Fisher, stick handles, veering off to his right. Puts the brakes on, sends it back to the point for Napier. Napier throws it on goal. Clean look by Fowler. They tried to set up a screen, but they were able to set a clean look. And now we've got a little bit extracurriculars. Looks like Charlie Russell's in the middle of things with Brandon Swoboda and a stoppage. And we'll see if it's going to lead to anything more. I think they're going to send at least one, if not a pair of guys coming in. And we will have ourselves a stoppage and some penalties coming here. 5:28 to go in the first as they will send in Charlie Russell for Fargo. They'll send Russell in, and for Youngstown, looks like it'll be Jack Wilson. Looks like both for roughing.
Well, we'll see what the officials are going to do here tonight with their penalty calls. There hasn't been a whole lot of activity after the whistle so far, but if that's any indication right there after that one, Brad, they're gonna keep this and call this one tight and make sure that guys are keeping their heads.
And we didn't see a lot of extracurricular stuff last night. I think both teams were very disciplined, and that was one thing Nick Oliver and I had talked about a couple of times in the playoffs. Here's Palatachuk, a drive. That one deflected up into the netting and out of play, about being physical but not crossing that line where you're going to cost your team with a penalty.
It's a very fine line sometimes, especially in the playoffs. And one thing that I was going to mention after the previous to the last face-off before the penalties came up, Fowler is so comfortable in the net. I mean, that save that he made on Swanson when he was point blank, and that last save prior to the last whistle, a goaltender can be solid, and a goaltender can be confident and solid. And Fowler saw that puck the whole way. He gloved it. Yeah, that's nothing. This is easy.
Piece of cake. Comes back out, Palatachuk. Palatachuk works his way down the wall. Now we'll drop it off. Top of the left circle. Shot. Blocked. Strothman batted it with almost with a high stick. It went high in the air as he tried to find it. And he and Patilla control things now for Youngstown. But I was really impressed with Bo Strothman. Logged a lot of minutes. And tell you what, UND is getting a good one. And they could use him right now. He's a guy. Pass in front. Shot save made by Marinoff.
Great save by Marinoff there. He held his post on that stick side. Didn't lean at all, and he needed to stay there because that's where the shot came.
Serbone denied there. Quality scoring chance for Youngstown. 113 to 4-on-4. In the corner with it, Palatachuk has Link and Knubel and Stender out there with him. Knubel back for Palatachuk. Offensive lineman, defenseman, and puck taken away. Chance for Youngstown. They'll come across the line. Pass up over the stick of Centrella. Now back behind the net for Andon Serbone. They center for Whitelaw.
Great job by Brent Link to follow his guy into the zone. He would have been wide open, and Link is able to get a stick on him. He never got the shot on goal.
Shot from Williams. Save made there as Fargo comes out with Stender. Stretch pass for Link. Off his stick, trying to reach for it, and Williams bats the puck away to the corner. They just missed, and Brett Linker picked to click, nearly had a chance.
That's the second time the Force have had an opportunity to send a guy into the zone on a breakaway, and the puck just didn't connect with the stick.
Whitelaw puts the brakes on as he gets to the corner now for Williams. Williams will shovel it back behind the net. Napier ties up a skater. That's LaChance back behind the net. Fargo comes away with it as taken there by Stender, patiently waiting. Drops it through center. Puck will go all the way down as taken back there by Funtak. As down to 5 seconds left of 4-on-4. 3.5 to go in the first and no score. Out of the cage comes Marinoff. He'll drop it off for a teammate, Mellenbacher. Pass intercepted, Mijiak. Mijiak backhands it towards the goal, and he's shoveled aside by Matej Marinoff. Shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of Fargo. Loose, LaChance. Now goal line extended. Right wraparound attempt. Puck went through the crease on the attempt from Matthew Perkins. Future Minnesota Duluth Bulldog.
Marinoff was a little late on that slide from his right to his left on that wraparound attempt. Lucky for him, that puck went through the blue paint.
Russell, I think, lost a goalie mitt, and I think he lost his stick in the process. And he's trying to grab both on the run and does. One-timer, and a shot missed the net. Tried to go upstairs, and Matthew Perkins missed the net. Held in by Youngstown. Over there, Mijiak, now behind the net. Jake Rossi battles for it for the Phantoms as we're down to 2:40 to go. And Fargo finally able to clear the zone. Charlie Russell comes in. Russell gets checked, battles for the puck. He's tied up there with Pavel Funtak. Rossi comes away with it for the Phantoms. Harassed by Charlie Russell. Now Funtak, 2:25 to go in the first. No score. Similar in some ways to last night, but it seemed like a lot more activity than we saw in the first 20 minutes last night. Brazen Bozer dumps it in. Fargo will complete a line change. Skalos comes out. Mangini back behind the net. Bouncing puck controlled by Turner. Like they tried to center. Back comes to the point. Bozer. Sharp angle shot high and wide. Missed the net.
Well, that first game of a series, especially East versus West, there's a feeling out process, right? You saw that last night. These teams are a little more comfortable with each other now, having played 60 minutes last night, but they're still playing it very close to the vest. Both goaltenders playing very well. Defense is playing very well so far as well.
Stretch pass. Miles Gunty trying to get there. Couldn't control it. And racing back to get it comes Joe Palatachuk for Fargo. He's at center. Palatachuk comes across the line. Stick handling Palatachuk between two skaters. Unable to get a shot up, but maintains puck possession to the corner. Now back behind the net. Patilla. Fargo controls again. Back behind the cage. They drop it goal line extended. That's Fisher. Fisher trying to get around Patilla's. We're under 90 seconds to go in the first period. Shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of the Force. No score. Gruba. Harper Bentz, the Moorhead product, tied up with Strothman over in the far corner in the Fargo offensive zone. Now Plant back for Gruba. Stender comes off the bench for the Force. Gruba looking for a lane. Now we'll drop it off for Stender. Stender, left circle. Shot, save made. Fowler. Loose in front. Batted home and it hit the pipe. Rebound attempt. Looked like it hit the right goal pipe.
Harper Bentz right on the doorstep right there. Just couldn't get it to go. He found the iron.
Now battle for it over in the corner. Final minute of play here in the opening period. Back the other way with it as coming across the line, Swoboda. Swoboda. Here comes Youngstown. Shot deflected up and over the glass into the netting. And it goes out of play with 34.4 seconds to go here in the opening period. But boy, Fargo Let's see if we get another look at that offensive opportunity. It starts there. It was the shot, Bentz right on the doorstep, and the backhanded shot looked like Zam Plant was the one that hit the goal pipe.
Yeah, Bentz was right outside the blue. He took the first shot right off the skate of Fowler with his left leg. Plant came in on the rebound and banged it off the iron. A couple of good scoring opportunities there. But two guys that haven't seen a lot of ice time here in the playoffs, Harper Bentz and Fisher, both making an impact here early on, getting an opportunity to get into the lineup tonight.
They are going to do a review, and I think it might have been on that previous bit of pressure thrown on by Fargo is that one that did hit the pipe. Did it come across the goal line or not? And I guess they'll take a look. My guess is no, but we're going to take a peek at it just to be sure.
You have to do your due diligence. Totally understandable. From the look that we saw already, it didn't look like there was any chance that was in the net. But the beauty is you have replay. You might as well use it if you got it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially a game and a series of this magnitude.
Didn't
it is
take
no
him
goal.
long.
No, that usually tells you that, that was indisputable that it was not a goal. But take a look at the overhead angle on that. There was Bentz with the first attempt. Had saved by Fowler, and then Plant kissing it off the right goal pipe.
Bentz got that first opportunity. Fowler made the great save. If Bentz could have got his stick on it the second time, he fanned on it, but he had 24 square feet to shoot at, but he just couldn't get his blade of the stick on it.
So 34.3 seconds to go here in the first. Youngstown will get a offensive zone face-off with Mijak against Volkenubel. As off the face-off. Still battle forward at the face-off dot, controlled by Shane LaChance. LaChance trying to come in on Marinoff. Checked by Napier. Traffic to the goaltender's left. Mijak. Mijak gets hauled down by Kevin Scott. Fargo comes away with Link controlling. Cross ice as across the line Swanson. Swanson, as Knubel got tied up in the slot. Tied up nicely by Jack Wilson. Puck comes back to neutral ice. Final 10 seconds here of the first period. Here's Link. Link shot blocked.
Have you seen a team that's kept their top line intact for an entire season like Swanson, Link, and Knubel have?
Not very often, that's for sure. That'll end the first period of play as Knubel will have to be separated from one of the Phantoms. And Tomish Machu, they'll be separated with one another, but that's a very good point. You think of some of the lines, at least since we started doing games a few years ago, there was Crone, the line was at Adams, or I'm trying to think, Lazat and Adams. I'm trying to think who the third guy was, but guys like Crone and Schmitz-Faystrup and Lochran and from that team in 18, just an example too. They didn't keep that line intact for a good chunk of that season.
No, Nick Oliver has kept those three together this entire season. You get the lineup card every night. You know exactly who the three names are going to be across the top of the sheet. It's been that way since September.
Well, for the second straight night, a scoreless first period. Shots on goal 12-6 in favor of Fargo. Well, Youngstown had 6 shots on goal in the opening period last night. Fargo had just 3. Fargo some quality scoring chances. Swanson was denied point-blank range by Fowler. That last bit of pressure with Plant started by Harper Bentz was another one as well. And just an example, they're putting some more pucks on net here in the first 20 minutes compared to last night.
They're getting their opportunities. 12 shots on goal to 6 in the opening period. That's a good sign. They just got to keep getting pucks in towards the net and get into those dirty areas. This is the time of year where you got to be right on top of the goaltender and get those greasy goals. The greasy goal might be the only difference in this game tonight. They got to keep pushing like they did in that first period.
Well, I think similar to last night too, Pat. I think if they, the longer you go, the greasier the goal you might need.
Yes, and we talked about it in the pregame too. Youngstown loves this. The longer that Fargo goes without getting a goal, there were 2 or 3 opportunities for the 3,000 plus people in the building tonight to kind of jump out of their chairs. They haven't had an opportunity to scream yet. You get this crowd into it. That's different for Youngstown. The longer that this game stays scoreless, I think, goes into the favor of the visitors.
20 minutes in the books. We'll get to our intermission report. We'll take a look at the first period summary and more coming up. At the end of one period of play, it's Game 2 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. Youngstown nothing, Fargo nothing here in Game 2. We'll come back with more after this 2-minute break.
When you work in the construction industry, those work days can feel like they last forever. From the extremely hot summers to the brutally cold winters, here's your chance to work inside. KAJ Hospitality is looking for a lead property maintenance person at their Doubletree and Homewood Suites location. They're looking for someone with finished carpentry, plumbing, or electrical skills to join their team. This is your opportunity to work indoors year-round with competitive pay and benefits. Apply within at the Doubletree in West Fargo.
When it comes to a diamond, we let you choose. Hi, I'm Aaron at Wimmer's Diamonds. From natural to lab-grown diamonds, we carry all the options our industry has to offer. Our team of experts is here to help you pick the perfect shape, size, color, and cut of diamond, along with a perfect ring mounting for your engagement or anniversary. We also offer the area's largest selection of finished jewelry. When you're ready to give the gift of sparkle, stop by and see us at Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Right now, Amazon warehouses are hiring near you and offering some awesome advantages that come with a job offer. You get a great hourly wage that's paid weekly, and you can choose when you work, whether that's early morning, day, night, and or on the weekend. Not to mention, Amazon associates start receiving benefits on their very first day. To take advantage of all that Amazon offers, visit amazon.com/join today. That's amazon.com/join today. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
At Thompson Homes, for the past 15 years, we have built homes that you will love to live in and call home. To celebrate 15 years of success, now Thompson Homes is offering $10,000 off of any of our existing available homes. Our homes are move-in ready, including sprinkler and sod. Contact us today to learn more. Start your Thompson moment now. Visit ThompsonHomesLLC.com or call 701-501-8598.
Some restrictions apply. Contact Thompson Homes to learn more.
We are through one period of play here. Game 2 of the Clark Cup Final. Derek Hansen back at our studios with Pat London. I'm Brad Anderson as we are scoreless for the second straight night. Scoreless after one period of play in the 2023 Clark Cup Final. This is game number 2, and kind of look back at it here, Pat. It was, I believe they were scoreless in the fourth and final game of that series in Youngstown as well. As looking back, yeah, it was scoreless. So it's three straight first periods without scoring for either side with Youngstown. They didn't score in game 4, and neither team has lit the lamp here in games 1 or 2 in the opening period as well. In fact, Youngstown, you go back a little bit deeper, they didn't score until 2:06 remaining in game 3. That tied it up against Chicago and then won in overtime. So that's 2 straight games where they didn't score until the third. We'll see if it becomes a third here tonight. But again, and I think a lot of people that have followed this series, and I think looking at these two teams would agree, the longer it goes scoreless or lower scoring, it favors Youngstown and how they want to do things.
Well, especially with the way that their goaltender's been playing all the way through this playoff, a sub-2 goals against average, and as I mentioned in that first period, a supreme amount of you can just tell by the body language from where we stand here watching this game. He has got a supreme amount of confidence. Every puck that he sees, he believes he's going to stop. And Fargo's going to have to create some traffic in front of him. And as we talked about before the break, at the end of the period, they got to get greasy because this kid is on his game right now, supremely confident. You have to get some bodies in front of him, and you need a tip or you need a putback because he, as you mentioned several times in the first period, he's giving up rebounds tonight. Mm-hmm. So there are opportunities there. But as long as he gains confidence and that confidence grows, the harder it is going to be to beat him.
No scoring in that first period. The penalties, William Whitelaw on a charge as he charging into the goaltender Marinoff. At first, we thought it might have been signaling for a penalty shot, but it was the penalty on William Whitelaw. 2 minutes for charging at 4:17. Fargo went 0 for 2 in the power play last night, was denied, but they had a couple of really good quality chances and sequences, especially early on in that power play on Fowler, but were denied. And then a pair of minors at 14:32. It was Jack Wilson, 2 minutes for roughing, and we thought at first we signaled matching roughing calls was actually unsportsmanlike conduct that was assessed to Fargo's Charlie Russell. So they went in at 14:32. As last night, not a lot of penalties called. We didn't have a lot of, not any more, kind of some garden variety play after the whistle, but I didn't think it ever really got out of control. And really, in this type of series, you certainly would not expect it to. But 4 penalties, 8 minutes, both sides last night.
Well, and I think both coaches tell their guys, all right, we can't take a dumb penalty. We can't give the other team an opportunity because every goal is very important at this time of the year. And especially now for Fargo on home ice, down 1-0. I mean, Youngstown's already come in and stolen one. Fargo really can't afford to take any penalties where it's going to put them on the penalty kill and give Youngstown an opportunity with the man advantage. So I expected to be a very clean game the rest of the night, and I was, as I mentioned in the pregame, I'm looking for a track meet. We haven't quite got to the track meet yet. I think they're just warming up. I think there's an opportunity for that still.
Maybe we're in the preliminary stage yet.
Yes, we're just in the heats.
We haven't gotten in full-fledged yet. So those penalties, 2 penalties, 4 minutes for Youngstown, 1 for 2 for Fargo. Shots on goal, 12-6 in favor of the Force, as Fowler 12 saves after he had 29 last night in the victory, and 6 saves from Matej Marinoff. And I thought you made a very good point there with Fowler. He never looks like he never gets himself out of position or out of control. I think he's probably he's in his zone, and I think he's just kind of feeling like, and he just doesn't panic. Where we saw a couple of times with Marinoff, not that he panicked, but he might have got himself a little off kilter a couple of times.
Yeah, Fowler is just so comfortable in the net, and he positions himself so well. He anticipates, from what I've seen now through 20 minutes, anticipates things so well, and there's no jittery nature to his game whatsoever. It's like he expects to be in front of the puck every time Fargo shoots a puck at him. Marinoff, and let's call a spade. Marinoff has had some struggles here recently, and so he needs to get his game back. We know well enough that Marinoff can be just as good as the guy on the other side of the ice, or the other end of the ice from him. Marinoff went 2/3 of the season without losing in regulation. I mean, the guy's got the game. Fowler is just really, really, really comfortable in front of the pipes right now, and it shows. I mean, he's just really comfortable.
Scoreless here after 1 as we'll take a break. Come back with more of our intermission report as Youngstown and Fargo, Game 2 of the Clark Cup Final. As the series will move to Youngstown next weekend. Game 3 will be at the Cavelli Center. 7:05 Eastern Time, so 6:05 here in the Central Time Zone. We'll have that for you, of course, on Flow Hockey and 101.9 Jack FM in the Fargo-Moorhead area. If a Game 4 is necessary, that would also be the same time a week from tonight. That would be a 6:05 Central, 7:05 Eastern Time start. And then if we do need 5, Game 5 would be a week from Tuesday, the 23rd, at Shields Arena, as the season would come. The USHL season would come to a close May 23rd, if need be.
Already?
Yeah, that's right. And then another month we'll start it up again. So
yeah, camp will begin in another, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly right.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more as we continue on with our intermission report. No score with the Force and the Phantoms. Game 2 of the USHL Clark Cup Final. We're back with more in just a moment. Back in 2 minutes.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. That's what Bud Light and its simple 4 iconic ingredient recipe has always stood for. With every moment and every beer, they strive to make life just a little bit easier to enjoy. And speaking of enjoying things, how could you not enjoy this year's Fargo Force season? Congratulations, guys, on an amazing season. Make sure you score a goal. And pick up a Bud Light the next time you're at the arena or at your favorite liquor store. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please drink responsibly.
Jack FM is KRWK Fargo Moorhead, home of the Vikings.
Patio season is almost here. Enjoy those nice days on the Knickerbocker Liquor Locker deck. Relish in daily happy hour from 4 to 7 and then stay for dinner. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker has tasty food specials most nights of the week, including Friday when you can enjoy prime rib or walleye dinner with all the sides. A delicious way to end the week. Check out their Facebook page for tonight's special, which are available for dine-in or carry-out. The Knickerbocker Liquor Locker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Head into your next painting project full of confidence with a little help from Fargo Glass and Paint. Conveniently located in the shops at Osgood at 4323 45th Street South. Stop by and ask their experts about Benjamin Moore's Scuff X interior paint. Scuff X provides an effortless painting experience with durable and flawless results. See for yourself in the hallways and locker rooms of the Shields Arena. No task too big when you work with the professionals at Fargo Glass and Paint, your local paint experts.
A few minutes away from the start of the second period, as we take a look back at and there's always been a kind of a talk when we've talked to some of the other broadcasters about Fargo won the Anderson Cup, and kind of interesting. Fargo this is their sixth time in the USHL final in 15 years of the franchise. They've never won an Anderson Cup, but I go back kind of to those early days when they made the final. They were usually like a 2 seed or a 3 seed out of the West, and even in 2018 they were the 3 seed, and in 2 of the 4 series that they were in and eventually won, they didn't have home ice advantage.
Well, how many times has the President's Trophy in the NHL ever made it to the Stanley Cup?
That's a good point.
That almost never happens. And Boston proved already this year that we're not going to have a President's Trophy and a Stanley Cup champion. It's all about who's playing best at this time of year. And as we talked about in the pregame, Youngstown is coming in probably playing as well or better than anybody in the entire league, and they showed it last night with the 4-1 win on the road. I mean, they win their series in Chicago, and I saw on their Twitter account by noon the next day they were already behind the windshield on the bus and headed to Fargo. I mean, they're road weary, but they came in last night, took care of business. They're playing very well right now, and they must give Jacob Fowler the best seat on that bus because he's the most comfortable guy in this building right now, I think.
I hope they get him like a recliner or something. But, I imagine they'll take off after the game tonight. And I haven't heard when Fargo will leave. And I'm trying to recall, I think in 2018 they left, Tuesday evening. There was a Friday-Saturday weekend that they eventually won. They won both games and clinched the series on that Saturday night back in 2018. So I don't know if they'd go late Tuesday night or early Wednesday. I've not heard the travel plans as of yet. But
these two teams are the furthest separated in the entire league. Over 1,000 miles separate Fargo and Youngstown, and these guys are used to traveling, but they're not used to. I mean, because the East-West crossover hasn't happened since before COVID. These two teams they don't see each other anymore. But that's a healthy road trip, and they need to get in, get their legs underneath them, get a couple of skates in before they hit the ice next Friday night for Game 3.
Clark Cup final has not gone 5 games since the 2017 final when Chicago beat Sioux City in 5. Fargo beat Youngstown in 4. That was in 18. Sioux Falls swept Chicago in 19. Didn't have the playoffs in 20 because of COVID. Chicago won in 4, clinching here at Shields Arena 2 years ago. And then Sioux City over Madison 3-1 a year ago as well. So it's been a few years since it's gone 5. And right now Youngstown with a 1-0 edge. We will come back for the third period of play, our final intermission break. As we'll break for 2 minutes. At the end of 1, it is Youngstown and Fargo. No score. Game 2 of the USHL Clark Cup final. We're back in 2 minutes. Oh, hang on. We will keep it here for the meantime as the guys are ready to come out here momentarily as well. But
Derek's wearing way too many hats tonight.
Yes, he's got to wear a couple on that. So we will check on. We will get back to that here momentarily. But the schedule coming up: games 3 and 4 next weekend, and then game 5 if needed as well. So we get ready for the second period. But I tell you what, Youngstown kind of looking at their just kind of looking back at their scores, they've had a number of one-goal victories. In fact, in one-goal games, they are 2-0 with one overtime. They've had 2 overtime wins. They had a double overtime win over Cedar Rapids to start the postseason, a 3-2 victory there. And then you compare that to Fargo, where it seems like the exception of the last 2 playoff games, it was all one-goal games. There are 3-2 wins over Tri-City, 1 in overtime, and a Charlie Russell shorthanded goal. Late goal from Knuble in the final minute. A 1-0 victory over Lincoln, and then a 4-3 loss. So basically their first 5 games are all one-goal games.
You had that screen up for Youngstown earlier, and I know this is radio, you can't see this, but all of Fargo's games, they have at 2,000 plus in attendance. Fargo's used to playing in front of a lot of people.
That is true, and you look at the Youngstown side, the crowds in the East haven't been quite
They haven't
quite
been
as
over.
large.
They haven't been over 1,500 until last night.
Yep, that's very true. I got 16-12 was the biggest crowd in Game 1 of that Cedar Rapids series as the Force will come out for the second period of play, and we'll get to the highlights here momentarily.
I want to give Chris Trept and Tidal Wave Sports a little bit of love here because the Force are wearing the sweaters that Tidal Wave put together for them this year. This is the third or fourth sweater that Tidal Wave has put together, and these are really, really sharp. I like the way Force looks in these home whites right now.
So we get to the highlights. Fargo, Max Swanson, stick handling left circle. Shot, they trying to stuff it in down low. That was a power play opportunity there with Owen Mellenbacher getting denied. Then Joe Palanichuk. Mellenbacher back for Palanichuk. He blasts some Cole Knuble there through traffic. Meantime, Youngstown coming back. The Phantoms, Marinoff with the save there is denying Hunter Bischoff. Youngstown had some opportunities, put some pressure on. That was a drive to left circle by Jack Wilson, and the save was made there. Meantime, Jacob Stender. Stender throwing it in front. Harper Betts. That was the shot from Plant that hit the right goal pipe. So that was one of the really two scoring chances that stood out the most for the Force in the first 20 minutes.
And going back and looking at those highlights, those two highlights that Youngstown had, the one where they drew the charging penalty where Marinoff had that one under his legs, Youngstown really didn't have that many scoring opportunities in that first period. The Force, as the shots on goal would dictate, they've doubled them up. They kind of dictated play in that first period, and the difference right now is Jacob Fowler, as we kind of would expect, because he's been such a stud between the pipe. But Fargo has really carried the play for the most part here for the first 20 minutes.
Niziak will take the draw against Werner Miettinen as we will get the second period underway. The puck is dumped into the Youngstown offensive zone. LaChance after it. Jacob Stender will drop it for Napier. Up the wall, Silcombs. Rolling puck and kept in the offensive zone by the Phantoms as LaChance over there. Nice hit. Niziak takes the body there from Stender. Silcombs sends that one along, but held in, inched in. Along the half wall by Youngstown. Breaking free, Mellenbacher has Stender with him. Mellenbacher right circle pass as a shot, trailing to play Silcombs. He tried to find Stender, but Fowler made the save. Good pressure there by Fargo. Silcombs now will try and get set up in the offensive zone. He's tied up with Strothman. Coming back up the wall as Miettinen is tied up. Mellenbacher trying to dig that puck out of the boards and taken there by Whitelaw. Now LaChance has Strothman with him. Feed for Strothman. Strothman trying to gather it in. Stops backhanded. Save made. Marinoff prevents a rebound. Finally comes up with a loose puck and hangs on with 19:05 to go in the second period.
That was a really, really good job by the Force defense right there. It looked like I expected a penalty. It was Owen Mellenbacher that followed Strothman in on that play. Didn't get the stick on his hands. Didn't hook. Didn't trip. Marinoff able to make a couple of saves right there, but Mellenbacher doing a great job back-checking as Strothman had a great opportunity to put one behind him there. Marinoff made the save, but Mellenbacher saved the day.
19:05 to go in the second. Still no score as back on the other end for Fargo. Mellenbacher, I think, was trying to find Stender. That pass didn't connect, but Silcombs trailing the play was the one that got the shot off.
A heck of a find for Kerry Eads before the trade deadline to bring Owen Mellenbacher here from Muskegon. He's really been a difference maker since he got in the lineup.
Yep, had a big game in that clincher in Lincoln with a pair of goals. Nice move, Palanichuk. Spin move, pass, backhanded shot, Knuble from Swanson. Kicked aside by Fowler. 14 saves for Fowler here in a little over a period. 18:45 to go in the first. Link, backhanded pass, gets it back, shot, save made, second attempt. Closing the gate was Fowler.
You were excited there. You thought your guy that you picked to click was going to do it.
Serbone. Boy, he had a couple of chances there. As Rossi, as Isagai, his backhanded shot save made by Rossi as he was able to maintain the offensive zone, avoid the offside call. As here comes Knuble. Knuble drops it off for Max Swanson. Swanson back to the point. Gathered in. Kevin Scott. Scott throws it on net. Fowler didn't see it right away. Into traffic that time and then able to scramble and cover up at the edge of the crease. With 18:17 to go in the second period, we remain scoreless.
I tell you what, you and I have watched this team all season long since back in early October, and the growth that Max Swanson has showed this season as a rookie, among the rookies scoring leaders all season long, but just his comfort level and his patience and his vision on the ice, apparent right there on that last rush into the zone. He gets it on the near wall, and he's got bodies coming at him, and he has a moment. He takes a moment and looks and drops it back to the point to create a scoring opportunity. His game has grown so much this season.
Bozer, left circle, takes a hit, gets knocked down. Courtesy of Grant Young. Traffic in front. Fowler makes the save, and Nick Oliver has said that to me during the year. He says he has earned everything he has gotten this year.
Yeah, UND hockey fans are in for a treat when Max Swanson ends up in Grand Forks because he is a talented young man from Anchorage, Alaska, and he has grown tremendously this season. Probably be back one more year, I would suspect, next year. But those of you that travel up I-29 to the Ralph Engelstad Arena, you're gonna have a guy to watch for a couple of years. It's going to be a treat.
JP Turner on the draw with Tyler Catalano. 18:06 to go in the second. Shots on goal here in the period. 5-2 in favor of Fargo. 17-8 total, and we are scoreless. The JP Turner on the draw with Tyler Catalano to the left of Fowler. He has faced 47 shots. He has stopped 46 of them in this series. Here's Bozer. Bozer chasing it down as he is chased by Hunter Bischoff. Comes near side. Bischoff will play collegiately at the new program at Augustana in Sioux Falls. Fargo with Mangini on the near side. Mangini will chip it in. And back behind the cage it goes as that's sent over to the corner, intercepted by the Force, as over there is Boris Skalos. Brings around the near side, Stender. Works his way to the corner, Stender back behind the net, gathered in by Mangini. Mangini in the corner as he's tangled up with Jack Wilson. Now Stender, fan on his first pass attempt. Now Skalos comes in, will drop it back behind the net. As Tomasz Machu, the first one there for Youngstown. Now Catalano at center. Catalano comes across the line. Down the left wing boards, puts the brakes on at the left circle. Pass, there's a shot to goal. Stick handling and scoring, and Miles Gunty gets his second in as many nights. And Youngstown strikes first. The goal, 2:49 into the second. Phantoms lead 1-0.
You know, he brings it into the zone, and he was waiting for reinforcements because they were in the middle of a line change. He stops at the hash mark, finds his guy at the top of the circle, and he just goes low to the glove side, beats Marinoff on the far post. And Youngstown strikes first once again in game two here. But a good heads-up play coming into the zone. Waited for his reinforcements. Line change, drops it off. Boom, goal.
They win the face-off for after the goal, as we'll get the announcement on the goal here coming here momentarily. But Gunty gets his second in as many games after he had not had a goal the entire Clark Cup playoffs until early in the third last night. Back in the corner, Leo Gruba avoids the check as Fargo trying to break free as Fisher. Failed to mention, but game two of the suspension for Kyle Smolin. After got a game misconduct in game 4 in Lincoln Monday, he will be eligible and back to play in game 3 on Friday. Here's a pass, one-timer, fanning on his attempt as Swoboda trying to find Grant Young and fanned on his attempt, 2-on-1. Kind of thwarted it themselves. 16:28 to go in the second period. So we'll get the scoring here momentarily for you, but was Gunty on the goal on that. It is a 1-0 Youngstown lead, and the stoppage was 16:21 to play here in the second period.
I couldn't hear Travis's call, but another great scoring opportunity there for Youngstown as they came in on a 2-on-1 and a fan shot. Otherwise, Marinoff was hung out a little bit there on that nice pass across the crease.
16:21 to play here in the second period. Shots on goal 17-9 in favor of Fargo. So 1-0 advantage. They get that first goal about a period ahead of last night. Off the face-off. Poked free and controlled by the Phantoms and Strothman. He and Patilla. I tell you what, those two log a lot of minutes. Manning the blue line for the Phantoms. Napier back behind the cage. Up the wall, Stender. Cross ice, Silkholms. Calmly plays it, sends it along. Pass to not connect with Miettinen. Strothman back again for Youngstown. Strothman at center, weaving between Force defenders that had poked away. Taken away by Miettinen from Mellenbacher. Mellenbacher across the line, working his way into the slot. In on Fowler, couldn't get a shot off. Phantoms try to carry it out, pinballed around, and here comes Youngstown with Whitelaw. Whitelaw drops it off. Here's a shot, save made. Mijak denied by Matej Marinoff. And we've got a little bit of extracurricular afterwards as Catalano and Mashu will assist on the goal from Gunty, and Chase Patilla and Silkholms, I should say, still mixing it up as well. Kevin Scott was the first one that was ready to go after Whitelaw appeared. So Gunty from Catalano and also from Tomish Machu. Catalano gets his second assist, second point of the playoffs. Gunty gets his second goal as we take a look at the reverse angle on the replay here. As there was the shot. Miziak in from the left circle, trying to go in on Marinoff, and Dave Marinoff with his ninth save. A little bit of the extracurriculars afterwards as well, but they'll keep the penalty boxes empty.
Geez, you think getting the goal gets a little momentum? Youngstown is a totally different team now after scoring that goal. They've had the puck in the offensive zone with numerous scoring chances ever since getting that goal here a minute and a half ago.
And the draw here, they set up Serbone, trying to camp him behind the net. He comes back to the point. Centrella throws it on net, got tipped and wide, missed the net. Back to the near side, Serbone is tied up there and comes back to neutral ice. Centrella again, find Nick Williams. As trying to connect it does. Serbone to the corner, trying to get around Bozer. Gets it back, finds a center in front. Poked aside.